Hi, I'm Dan Danford, and we're doing yet another episode of Money Made Easy for dadsdivorce.com. We typically grab questions from viewers of the website, and this week is no exception. Does canceling a credit card help or hurt my credit score? Good question. We get a lot of questions here and elsewhere about credit scores. And I guess what I'm going to say is that credit scores are all about one thing. Can you pay your bills? Okay, that's the whole nature of the credit rating process. There are 2 or 3 companies out there, and what they do is they collect data on each one of us and how we pay our bills, and then they deliver a rating to anybody who requests it. Well, anybody who pays for it and requests it. So if you're getting ready to, say, borrow a car from a bank, you know, one of the first things the bank will do is they will request your credit rating from one of the 3 rating agencies, okay, or maybe several of them, but let's say one. That rating will come back to them, it's numerical, and they will use that for one of 2 things. Number 1, they'll use it to help decide whether they should loan you money, and number 2, they'll use it to help decide how much interest they should charge if they do loan you money. Okay, the worse your credit rating, the higher the interest. That's basically just a risk adjustment factor. Okay, so what happens is that the credit rating agency is collecting all this data on us, and among the things it checks is, you know, do you pay your utility bills? Do you pay outstanding loans? How many late notices have you had? It tracks all these different companies report those to the credit rating agency, because they want to be able to acquire, you know, good records, good numbers on other people when they approach them. So it's kind of this big cooperative thing out there. Now, things like credit cards come into play in your credit rating. Okay, one thing they're going to do is they're going to check and see, have you been paying on your credit cards? And when you do pay, what's it look like? Do you just pay the minimum payments? Do you make larger payments than that? Do you pay the credit cards every month? Okay, so those are all part of the package. Whether you keep or get rid of a credit card probably has to do with circumstances. Okay, these credit rating companies are very sophisticated. They're very savvy. So let's say, for instance, you have a $5,000 outstanding balance on a Visa card. Okay, well, they may see that you got rid of that Visa card, but they may also see that all you did was transfer the balance to another Visa card. Okay, so getting rid of the first Visa card really doesn't change your financial situation very much. Okay, probably not going to make a big difference. Now, if they see that you, over a period of several months, paid off the Visa card and then you canceled the Visa card, then that probably will have a positive impact on your credit rating. Generally, they don't like to see you have 4 or 5 or 6 credit cards that have no balances on them. Now, that doesn't go so much to whether or not you pay your bills on time. What it goes to is how much credit you have available to you. Okay? So they look and they say, well, okay, Dan might make payments on his car loan okay, because we've always seen that he did that. But at the same time, we notice he's got a drawer full of credit cards, and if he filled up each one of those credit cards, that'd be $25,000 in debt. Okay? Well, just having those empty credit cards sitting there doesn't really impact my purchase of a car today. But what they see is, what if I buy the car today and then I fill up the 6 credit cards with purchases? Okay? And then they're going to say, well, Dan isn't having a problem today, but there's this potential problem out there that he could fill those up. So generally speaking, they would rather you'd have 1 or 2 credit cards, use them occasionally, and pay them off all the time. That would be their favorite. To see you canceling credit cards, well, in general, they probably think that's a good deal. On the other hand, if they see you just moving money around, a balance around from one credit card to another, probably not going to have a big impact. I guess the bottom line is this. If a credit rating company senses that what you're trying to do is be evasive or move things around or trick them into getting you a higher credit rating, it's probably not going to work. But if getting rid of a credit card is part of your ongoing financial responsibility, okay, if they see these are responsible people who pay off all the loans they borrow and they just got rid of yet another credit card, it's probably going to be a good thing for your credit rating. Don't think, or at least my experience suggests, it's really hard to trick these folks. They're pretty good at figuring out what they need, and they're pretty good at reporting to their clients what your credit situation really is. Hope that answers your question this week. That's another episode of Money Made Easy for Dad's Divorce. I'm Dan Danford.